Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, I tell you every couple of weeks that if you're interested in sending in puzzles to the channel for us to potentially solve, definitely don't use loads and loads of rules. Try and keep it fairly simple. Because A, those puzzles are quite popular and people like them, and B, we are constantly getting new visitors, and a long rule set is quite off-putting, and they're not as used to all the kind of odds and evens and arrows and thermos and palindromes and what have you that some of us are used to. However, you can't pin me down. I'm going to do a puzzle that got sent to us as a debut with loads of rules in it, and partly it's just to show that I'm very contrary, but partly it's to show it's actually for newcomers. Let's have a puzzle that's fairly approachable, I hear this is, but that goes through some of the rules that we are fairly used to. And there we go, just once in a while this might happen on the channel. So I will go through all the rules of this puzzle in a moment. There are lots of rules, but if you're interested in, first of all, a few puzzles with fairly simple rules, and then 3 puzzles with more complicated rules, check out our Patreon. We have released today The Labours of Rostam, the new hunt. Do join us on Patreon. If you're already joined on Patreon, just go to the site there and download the PDF, and you can play all 7 puzzles in any order you like. If you get them all right, you will have the key to a solution code which will allow you to enter the competition. If you do that by the 20th of August, you may win the prize, which is to take part in a collaborative video with Simon. And I think it's Emily Ames who's won the last prize, and we'll be doing so with Simon at some point. And we're really looking forward to bringing that to you. Now, I don't think that on this Monday we're going to be streaming the blueprints, but probably the next one after that we will be. And that's been quite good fun as well. So check out the VODs for that. Loads going on. I mean, there's more on Patreon, of course. There's crosswords and connections videos. There's Sven's Sudoku pad on the links under the video. There are also links to all of our apps which do feature Arrow Sudoku and Domino Sudoku and Line Sudoku, many others, as well as Fog of War and the Worms. So there's all sorts going on there. And what I'm going to mention today that I don't often is the site Sudoku Maker, which is excellent and which features ways of creating these puzzles. It understands lots of the rules. F-Puzzles did the same, does the same, but is a little more limited in my view. I mean, maybe that's unfair, but Sudoku Maker is excellent and has a feature where you can create the puzzles in Sudoku Maker and then just convert them into Sudoku pad puzzles. Just wonderful. And that's how I put Buttons' puzzle into the software, into our software. And we'll see how it works today. I'm going to enjoy solving this. It's apparently fairly approachable. It's got a lot of rules. I'm going to go through them now. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Identical digits cannot appear in cells a chess knights move apart, like those two or those two. And I get my friend Knighty McKnightface out of his little red bag to tell me that when I forget what I can possibly do, there's a knight's move restriction. So he'll be sitting here reminding me. Digits along a marked diagonal must not repeat, and there are 2 of those. A digit in a grey circle is odd. A digit in a grey square is even. Digits in cells joined by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. So one is double the other. Digits along an orange palindrome read the same in both directions. So those 2 are the same, those 2 are the same. I've made the palindrome orange because there are a few other grey lines around, and here they come. Digits along an arrow sum to the number in the attached circle, so those 2 add up to that one. Thanks to Sudoku Maker, I'm able to make the circle small so we can still see the pink cell behind it. We'll come to that. Digits along a line are strictly between the digits on circles on the end of the line, and that refers to this between line here. So if we had 3 there and 8 there, the digits on the line would all have to be between 3 and 8. They'd have to be 4, 5, 6, or 7. They can repeat, obviously. Digits inside pink cells must not repeat. So it's like the pink cells are an extra region. So there's plenty of rules. In some ways, the difficulty of solving puzzles like this is working out where to get going first, because there are so many possibilities. I'm going to start now. Let's see how we do. Give yourself a chance on this one. Read the rules carefully. Spend some time doing that so you know what they all mean. And then click the link under the puzzle and have a go, please. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. Well, I'm going to start with the black dots because we've got a sequence, and on these they can't be the same. In fact, that's a sequence of 3 just as that's a sequence of 3. In this row, these are all different. In this box, these are all different. And what that means to me is that this is a continuous sequence, and it's therefore a 1, 2, 4, 8 sequence. Sorry. Since this is a palindrome, I can then put 1 and 8 in those cells and 2 and 4 in those. And that's a start. Doesn't then disambiguate what each one is, but we've got going. Now, because at the top end of this palindrome, because that's rather lovely actually, because at the top end of the palindrome those digits are in a black dot relationship, so are these two. Now, if that was a 1 and that was a 2, this 2 would be on the between line, and that would mean that one circle on the between line would have to be a 1. But that cell sees both of them, and that would be a 1 and would prevent them both being 1s. So this is not the 2, this is the 4. And now we know the sequence. It's from the end of the line 8, 4, 2, 1. And there we go. Actually, that was blindingly obvious from the even cell there, wasn't it? I didn't notice that. I did the complicated thing. You will note, if you follow the channel, you will be aware that lots of people think that Simon and I deliberately do things in the most complicated ways possible, and that will feature as a prime example that people will quote in the future. But there we go. That's what I just did. I didn't spot the grey cell is the grey square meaning even. That's the simple truth. Right, now there is not a 1 on this arrow. So that has to be a 2, 3, 4 because that's the minimum digits, and that still gives a Sudoku digit in the center, which is a 9. Okay, this time I'm spotting the grey cell. Pink doesn't help there, but we've got a 9 in the central circle. This can't be an 8, 1 or a 2, 7 pair, so it's either 3, 6 or 4, 5. This one is a little harder to determine as the digits fall in different boxes. Okay, up the central column then, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. This digit is even and can't be 2 or 4 or 8. That's a 6. 5, 7 and 8 are the remaining digits to go in the central column. This one can't be 8 by Sudoku because of the box. So the between line, I've got the knight's move, haven't thought about that yet. Where's 2 in the central box? It's not there. It's not there by knight's move, so it's in one of these 2 cells. Knight's move, who's thinking about the knight's move at this point? There's so much to go on. The low digit on the between line is 2 or 3. It's got to be less than 4 and it's not 1. The high digit has to be more than 5 or 7. I don't know how that's going to pan out. All right, 6 can't be in those cells by knight's move and so on. there must be something very doable somewhere on... Okay, we've finished using the black dots. They're done. We've finished using the palindrome because that cell isn't going to repeat on it. Well, I mean, that's a start. This is even. And where will it fall in the central box? Not in any of those cells. Oh, okay. I thought we were just going to be cruising. Oh, yes, hang on. Where does 8 go in the central box? That 8 sees that by knight's move, and then these are ruled out by ordinary Sudoku, and that must be 8 in the central box. Okay, that was worth considering. It is just asking the right questions that will get this done. But obviously, identifying what those questions are is part of the skill of the solve. 1, 6, 2, 8. What am I missing there? I don't know. This could still be a 2, so it doesn't have to be a 3 in a circle. 4, 2, 1, 8. That 4 can't go there. If 4 wasn't there, it would be there, or no, or there on this arrow. 3 is in one of those cells, and they both see that one, including by knight's move, so that can't be a 3. It's a surprising conclusion. Okay, I've probably been patronising towards the puzzle. It's suddenly stiffened up a bit, and I don't quite know what to do. I don't think we can use the pink cells yet. I don't think there's a vast amount of Sudoku that I'm missing. Well, I mean, who knows? I don't think I'm missing huge amounts of Sudoku because we don't have that many digits written in. We know there's a 1 in one of those cells. This diagonal, slightly interesting because we've had 1 and 9 on it already, and there's 2 more odds to go, which are selected from 3, 5, 7 as a result. It's almost a triple with this digit. No, I don't know what that implies. 8, 4, 2, 9. Okay, this arrow, it can't have a 4 on it because that 4 sees both positions. It can't have an 8 on it because there's an 8 in both boxes. So this is either 3, 6 or 2, 7, and the 2, 7 would be in a specific order. Now, the 7 in the central box has to be on this line. And now these circles are from 1, 3, 5. They have to be odd. They can't be 7 because it's somewhere on the diagonal, and 9's gone. So we narrowed those down a little, and it didn't really do much. Wow, okay, I am finding this a bit trickier now. What is going to go in the circles then? Or, what must go on the line? That might actually be worth thinking about. 9 can never go on the line. So 9 in this box has to be in one of these cells. And then in box 2, it's in one of those, along with 1 and some other lucky digit that gets to spend its time with 1 and 9. Don't know what that is yet. 8 is in one of those cells. Knight's move? Am I just not thinking enough about the knight's move? Two can't be on this line. So it can't be in that cell. Why can't 2 be on the line? Because it would need 1 in a circle. And that 1 is preventing it. So 2 is not there. Or because of that in these cells. But it could be in the circle, and it could be in the extra region place, or there. It must be about these arrows. That's not quite a triple. It is for the column, but not for anywhere else. So this group of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. That one sees all of those. So whatever that is has to be in one of these 3 cells. I don't think that's getting anything done either. Oh, goodness, Mark. Wow. You thought it was going to be fine, and now you're having to do some actual sitting back and thinking. After that start, I thought there's so many ways we could go. Oh, 9 by Knight's Move sees that cell. So we've confined 9 to one of these. It's so likely to be in the circle. 7 also can't be in that cell, because the 2 positions for 7 in the central box see this, 1 by Knight's Move. So this digit is 3, 4, or 5, which is slightly surprising. It doesn't really do anything. That then, in turn, can't be in any of those and must be in one of these 3. Okay, I am going to think about the extra region cells now. Oh, there is something quite interesting, is there? No, I was thinking that these have to be different anyway. I was just wondering, where does something like this go on this diagonal? Is it, I mean, it gets ruled out by Sudoku from there. Yeah, the Knight's Move isn't really seeing it. Okay, I don't know. 1 there then is on this diagonal, and it's not on this bit of the diagonal. So 1 then has to go somewhere on this diagonal, and it's already been a pink cell, so it doesn't go on the ends. It can't go there because that 1 sees it. So I'm down to 3 places on this diagonal for 1. And that's the end of the thought process on 1s. Tricky. Okay, so 2 has 2 places in the central box. If it's there, that's a 4, that's a 3. Then this digit couldn't be 2 or 3 and would have to be 6. And that would cause a clash of 3 there with 3 there. So what I'm saying is, if this was a 2, that's a 4, that's a 3. This becomes a 6 because it can see the 2, 3 pair, but that cell can see that digit as well. In fact, well, I mean, that'll do. That's how I'm moving forward. That's not a 2 now. So this is the 2 in the central box, and that gives us a 7 here. That places 7 in the central box. This digit is 3, 4, 5, or 6, and I literally don't know which one, so full pencil marking. 7 and 7, one of these 2 is a 7. We haven't had 7 in pink yet. 8, 2, 9, 7. This, come on. That can't appear in any of those cells, so if that was 4, that would be a 4. Oh, these 2 add up to 9. And we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 left in the central box, so these 2 add up to 9, and this digit can't be 3 or 4 either. That is 5 or 6. Right. Do something Knight's Move. Still don't know. 3 is in one of these 2 cells. What have we got now? 2 is definitely in one of these 2. And that means these 2 cells can't be 2. Which is slightly interesting for column 7, but again, not conclusive at all. Because 9 is there and we've got the Knights move, 9 can't be anywhere in the Fistemafel ring. Which is also going to mean, by a complicated sequence of events, that 9 can't be in any of these cells. Now, I was not expecting to look at the Fistemafel ring in this puzzle, and maybe it's not necessary, but it does help. I think that would put 9 into one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these, but I'm not going to use that yet, because it's a sort of... No, it's okay. We can use that. Right. Look at the cells that this 9 sees. It sees all of these cells because of the diagonals and the Knights move. So the 9 in row 3 has to be in one of those places, and in row 7 has to be in one of those. In column 3, one of those, and in column 7, one of those. And this is where we get the payoff. In column 7, it can't be in these 2 cells, and therefore it must be in one of these 2. And because we confined it to this group of 4 cells, this was going to be the 4 instances of 9 in the corner boxes in the puzzle, then we can just kind of push that around in dominoes in the grid. We get a 9 in one of those, a 9 in one of those, a 9 in one of those. And that's perfectly legal. I didn't have to explain the whole concept of the Fistemafel ring to do that. I just had to colour these cells yellow so you could see what I was thinking about there. Now, does that help anything or anybody? It means this can't be a 9. If this was the high end of the 2 circles on this line, the most it could be, it can't be 7, which has already appeared on the diagonal. It can't be 6 by Knight's move. Now we know it can't be 9. It would have to be 5, and that wouldn't allow whatever this digit is on the line. So this is the low end. It has to be below 4, and it's not 1. So that is 2 or 3. This is the high end of the line now. And what does the line have on it? At least 5 or 7. So this is at least 6. And it's not 6 or 8. This digit is 7 or 9. Everything on the line is somewhere between 2 and 9, which is less limiting than one would hope. I mean, I could fill in 3, 4, or 5 there. It's quite interesting, because if that is not a 3, then it's going to force this to be a 3-6 pair. But I haven't got conclusive proof of that yet, unless I'm missing something. If that was a 3, that would be a 2, both by between lines rules and by the Knight's move. Yeah, this puzzle has a bit of bite, and all the better for it. So my encouragement to do this, to learn what the rules are and have an easy time, is a bit wrong, but there we go. That's going to happen sometimes when I don't know what I'm facing when I start. Now, how are the pink cells going? Nothing has really changed in the pink cells. There are fewer of them that could be 4 than earlier. I just want this to give an actual number in the circles. Okay, if that was a 7, this would have to be 5. These digits would have to be between 3 and 6, and they couldn't be 6. So they'd have to be from... If that was 7 and that was 5, that would have to be 4 and that 3. I mean, that's quite interesting. And does it break somewhere else? 7, 5, 4, 3. I don't know. 7, 5, 4, 3. That would be 2. Actually, this diagonal is worth considering again, because we've got a lot of pencil marking on it now. 9, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We haven't got 4 or 8 anywhere. 8 cannot be there by knight's move from here. So 8 is definitely in one of those pink cells. And that means 8 can't be in the other, the pink cell's on the other diagonal. So where is 8 on the other diagonal? It's not allowed to be there by knight's move. This seems to be the only place 8 can be. Now that sees those 2 cells in row 4 and places 8 in row 4. 8 in column 9 is now in one of these 2. Quite possibly here on the diagonal. That's not 8. That 8 sees all of these cells. No, don't know what to do with that. Right, and we got 8 on this leading, or the positive diagonal. 8, 9, 1. We've still got 2 and 6 to place on it. And neither of those goes here, because that sees a 2 and a 6. So 2 and 6 are in the corners there. And now they can't go in these cells or these cells. So we need to find a berth for 2 and 6 on this diagonal that's not pink. Right, 2 only has one place because that 2 sees that cell. So this is 2, unsurprisingly. The 6 is in one of those 2 spots, I think. I'm a bit reluctant to mark that. I already marked these 8 positions without really thinking, oh, that 2 and 6 in pink means that's not a 2, and that means we now know where 2 is on this arrow. It's there at the top. Is that telling us any more? Not really. No, I don't think that's telling me anything else. 6, I'm just going to try and remember, is in one of those 2. I've still got 4 to place on this diagonal as well. 4 says it can't be here. So 4 must be in one of those 2 cells on this diagonal. Goodness me. Oh, hang on. 4 can't be in either of those pink cells because of these 4s. Oh, so 4 in the pink cell is either there or there. Well, that's quite interesting because that means that this cell can't be 4. Oh, that's beautiful. So now we know where 4 is on this negative diagonal. It has to be up in the corner. And that's going to make the other end the 8. We knew there was going to be an 8. And now that becomes a 3 because we've had 4 in pink. And the pinks, we've had 1, 9, 3, 4, 8, a 2, 6 pair is going to leave these 2 being a 5, 7 pair. And we know the order. That is complicated, elegant, and downright clever. So that's a 4. We worked out earlier that these 2 had to add up to 9 because those 2 did. So in they all go, 5, 3, and 6. Now on this diagonal we've had 3, so the circles become a 5, 7 pair. That is a 4 to complete the diagonal. This is now not a 4. On this diagonal we've had 5, so we take 5 out of the circles. The digit we need to complete the diagonal is a 6. And we've basically, well, we haven't done the diagonals, but we've made good progress. Oh, I never worked out earlier that that was a group of the 4 odd digits that aren't 9, just by rule, and they see each other. It's an interesting concept. I didn't manage to use it. I didn't think of it. Right, 4 in this box can't be there by Sudoku. That 4 sees those 2 spots. So it's in one of these 2. And then 4 in row 2 has to end up here. That is going to tell us that this is the 4 in column 8. This is the 4 in row 9. And that's not a 4 in row 3. So all the 4s are done. That wasn't my expectation of the first digit we would get all 9 placements of. But so it goes sometimes. Now, these can't be 9 because we've confined 9 in the column. So now we've got a 1, 3, 8 triple. 4, 6, 2, 5, 7, 9 still to go. Okay, here 2, 5, 8, 4, 7. We need a 3 in one of those cells. That is 1 or 9. That's from 1, 6, 9. In the central row, we need a 1 and a 3 to begin and end it. In this row, that can't be 3 or 9 by knight's move. I really think we're very close. Oh, this box, we've got a lot going in that. 5 we can place in that box there. That makes this digit a 3. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong mode. 5 there, 3 there, and this is 7 or 9. At the top of the box, we now have a 6, 8 pair. This completes the column with a 7. And these are 1, 5, 9. This one can't be 9 or 5 by knight's move, so that's 1. 3, 1, 8, okay. We need a 2 in there, specifically in row 4. And then in one of those, that gives us the pink cells at the ends of the leading diagonal, 6 and 2. That 2 is going to need a 2 in one of those cells. We're also going to get a 2 in one of those. Little X-wing on 2s still to resolve. This digit is 5 or 7. Is that useful? No. Yes, it is. This digit is 5 or 7 because we've got this 1, 3, 8 triple, 4 and 6. We know it's not 2 or 9. But that's now a 5, 7 pair in the row. So we get 9 there, 5, the wrong mode again, 9 there, 5 there. By knight's move I see now, that's 7, that's 5. We're going to have a 7 in one of these two. Maybe keep going in this row. This digit can't be 8 or 6. So there's only one place for 6 in the row. That's there, 8. There's only one place for 9 here. There's only one place for 8 in row 2 as well. So that's going well. This digit is a naked 2 now. That can't be 7 because of the knight's move. And we can fill in 2, 5. And this digit is a 1 or a 3. I wonder if these 1, 3s are disambiguated, and I can't see why. This digit is not allowed to be 9, so it's 1 or 6. That 9 is looking at that one. So there we go, the row is finished. And that 1 is looking back at the circle. So now the top 4 rows are all finished. This becomes a 3. Top 5 rows, we can expand that to. This is now 5, 9, 3. Top 6 rows. So we are getting close now. 7, 8, that's a 5. This is a 6, 1 pair. This is 3 and 9. There is a knight's move to resolve that. We do get a 7 on this circle, in this between line. But I've only got 3 and 6 left to put in the row anyway. Right, 2 digits to go. One of them's a 9, the other one is a 5, and that is pink haze. We have seen through the pink haze and solved the puzzle. And it wasn't quite as straightforward as I thought, but possibly because I was missing something. There was a sort of complicated step in the middle to do with all the diagonals especially. Very clever buttons, very interesting. I bet somebody will solve this having forgotten one of the rules, like knight's move, and go, oh, actually it still solves. And if that's true, great, but it will be far more complicated if that is the case. Anyway, it's not uncomplicated as it was. It was a good puzzle, and I hope that does introduce you to some of the more common variants of Sudoku, in which I would include black dots, arrows, odds and even cells, and some of the slightly less common, maybe palindromes about medium diagonals in the puzzle. And then we did also have between lines and the old knight's move. So an entertaining outing as usual. do check out the Labours of Rostam on Patreon. We'd love to have you have a go at that. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.